Hey, welcome back to another episode of Keep Standing. Listen, I hope you've been encouraged by the content that you've heard. As always, you know what I'm going to ask you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it, so that others can enjoy what's benefiting you in this season of your life. Well, I am back with a good friend of mine. He is an NFL Pro Bowl player. He's one of the fiercest linebackers, one of the most dominant in history. He's also played in a Super Bowl and coached in a Super Bowl. And he just happens to be a really good golfer too. I'm grateful to have back Bryan Cox.
Appreciate that, Pat.
Bro, listen, last time conversation was just phenomenal. So let's just dive right back in. All right. So we talked about success in life and, some of the things that make it. One of the things that make us successful that people often overlook is when things don't go your way and how it tests you, how sometimes difficulty tests you. Is there a moment that you can point to where things didn't go your way and it tested you?
There's numerous times.
Yeah.
Numerous times. I'd probably say when I broke my leg in New York with the Jets, I think this was 1999. I was in year 9 of my career. I thought my career was over because I broke my leg and I broke my ankle and it was fractured and so in pieces. And when they put it back together, it took me an entire year to heal back up. And I broke it again when I was playing for the Patriots, the year we won the Super Bowl, the only year I was in New England. I thought I was done. I was like, my career is over. It was a challenge because at that time I was older and I wasn't as hungry as I was when I was younger, because I think sometimes the game can make you bitter. Like, there were times because of my antics, let's call them, that I had better numbers and should have made more Pro Bowls. And I think because I was at odds with the NFL, if I make 2 more All-Pro teams and maybe 3 or 4 more Pro Bowls, which I probably should have, but for cussing the commissioner out and doing some of those things, now you're talking about Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So when you look at my career in totality, like I did it myself. I ain't got nobody to blame. It's me because of how I handled some situations. But that's a regret when you get older and you look back on it. You be like, I stack up with these Hall of Fame guys, and I had better numbers in the years I didn't make the Pro Bowl, but because of my actions and because of what I did or said to the commissioner, that cost me Pro Bowls, which now, when you look back, cost you opportunities to even be thought of to be a Hall of Fame guy. So that's the kind of stuff to keep you out. That's an issue.
Well, when I think about your career, man, and what I've observed before we ever became friends, it's almost unnatural not to say Hall of Famer Bryan Cox, and I'm sure a lot of people, based on the body of your word.
Yeah, but if you had 6 Pro Bowl years and 3 All-Pro years as opposed to 1 All-Pro year and 3 Pro Bowls, then you put yourself in that conversation. And unfortunately, but you got to stand on something. And I stand on what I did because at the time I felt like I was right. And, too many times we look for others to blame instead of taking responsibility and standing on it. I stand on it, but you feel some kind of way at the end, because when you get old and you can't play anymore, the one thing that you can rely on is respect from former players or players you competed against, or people that you competed against said you should be worthy of more nominations or more accolades because of what you did. And that's when you start to think about it. You be like, you damn fool.
Yeah. What does those moments, when you don't necessarily hit the mark, or you make some decisions that are not, necessarily the best long term, or even if there's failure involved, what do those teach you that success never could teach you?
One, that they couldn't break you. So if you believe in what you did and you stand on it, you got to stand on it. But secondly, I think what you learn from it at the end, as you mature and you tell yourself at 58, you tell your 21-year-old, 23-year-old self, was it worth it? And you have to make the determination for yourself if it was worth it. Like, I think it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like you have to stand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you believe in something, you stand on it.
Yeah. Well, keep standing, obviously. Yeah. Listen, this is always a tough question, but I feel like I want to ask you this. Any when you look back over your career, any regrets?
Of course. I think it's easy at 58 to look back and say, here's what I would have done differently. But what people don't realize and understand is everybody's different. It takes different people, different time to mature. And although I was married with 2 kids at 21, when you the smartest guy in your group and you are the person that's taking care of your family, not just your wife and kids, but your mom, your brothers, your sisters, when you're taking care of people, not many people going to stand up to you and say, don't do that. Or here's what you need to do. Like, when you come from where I come from and you didn't have the guidance, you didn't have the people to talk to you. Like, my mom would try to say sometimes, baby, don't do that. I'd be like, Mom, you like the house you live in, don't you? Mm-hmm. You like the car you drive, don't you? Like, let me go do this. I'm doing a pretty good job. Let me go do this. Like, in thinking back, I would take more heed to the advice that she was giving me, because she was the only one that would try to talk sense into me. And I would be that bullheaded, like I just said, Mom, you like your house you live in that I bought you, right? Yeah. Like, leave me alone. And I would do better. But it's easy at 58 to say that, as opposed to when I was 21, 22, 23, 24, and nobody really teaching me what a quality of life was. Yeah. Me figuring it out as I go.
Well, you do hit on something when you talk 21, now in 50s, that's a season of transition. So you were used to playing in front of 70, 80,000 fans, playing in the Super Bowl. And then there comes a day when the lights go out, and you walk away from the game. Mm-hmm. What was that like? What was the adjustment in that?
The adjustment in that was I had to be home. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn how to become present in the home, which I didn't do a good job. My wife, Kim, she raised my kids from my first marriage, and she did a tremendous job. My kids are closer to her than they are to me or their mom. And that just tells you the kind of woman she is. And so when you look at her, my son's 31, my middle daughter is 33, and she raised them. She came into their life when they were 8 and 10. She raised them. She spends more time on the phone with them today than they spend on the phone with me or their mom. Like they always say, I got two moms. I got my biological mom and this is my mom. So you have to be careful who you marry, because who you marry can make you or break you.
Sure.
And I married one that make me.
Yeah. Big ups to Kim Cox. She really is one of the best. Grateful for her. See? Show you some love, Kim. Listen, so then you have to you come out. Now you got to anchor yourself in your identity. I'm not that persona. We talked earlier about that persona that we see on Sunday that you switch onto. How do you now anchor into your identity? Is there another B. Cox?
I apologize because you asked me that question. I said I would say here's what helped me more than anything. Joe Green was my coach in Miami, and people used to call him Mean Joe Green. He said, that guy dead. That guy died a long time ago. He said, I'm just Joe Green. Nice to meet you. And I think that turned the clock for me, because he said, you got to let that old self die to become a new. Like, I can't be Mean Joe Green at 60 years old. I can't do what Mean Joe Green did. I'm just Joe Green. And so he kind of walked me through it and talked me into becoming just Bryan. Like, my alter ego was gone. That guy that say, I own this field and you come out here, I'm going to bash you in your head, or I'm going to be standing at the bus after the game and ain't no cameras over here. That guy's going to be gone. And I had to just become Bryan Cox. And so I give a lot of credit to Joe for helping me with that. And then my golf game, I play golf, man. That keep me even and well balanced.
Yeah. Well, when you reflect, I can't help but think about this. Before I knew you were in the congregation, I remember seeing you on the sideline as a coach, and you coach in the Super Bowl, in a very famous Super Bowl. As coach of the Atlanta Falcons, I can see you. They put the camera on you one time. I remember seeing you think, "Oh, that's B. Cox." But it's known probably as one of the greatest comebacks ever.
28-3. That Super Bowl against Tom Brady here in Houston. We had the 28-3 lead, and we go in at halftime, and I tell the guys, Tom Brady's going to make a run.
Yeah.
We better be ready for when that run comes. And it's like looking in the eyes and not seeing anybody's soul, like just stare blanks when that run started happening. And I'm over there screaming and yelling at guys, man, just make one play. We make one play, the game is over. And we couldn't do it. And I give him credit, but we found a way to screw that game up. Like when Julio made the great catch, Julio Jones made that great catch on the sideline. If we run the ball 3 times and kick a field goal, they can't win. Instead, we do what? Drop back to throw a pass, get sacked, strip, fumble, and they go down and score. And that turned the game and cost us the game. But, I mean, it's life. I had the pleasure of winning the Super Bowl with the Patriots and losing the Super Bowl to the Patriots when I was in Atlanta.
So if there's, we talked earlier about, there's an athlete or athletes who are watching and you're talking to a team maybe, and having that memory of that comeback and watching this thing kind of happen and play out. I remember that night, man. I remember 28-3, and I'll never forget. I looked over at the girl, Sarah, and I said, hold on, that is Tom. I said something else, but I said that is Tom Brady over there. But you're now talking to some athletes, and they're in that getting ready to come out for the third quarter in some season, some area of life, and they're up. What do you tell them to remind them there's going to be difficulty up ahead, and here's how I need you to get ready to deal with it?
The biggest piece of advice that I would give them is be calm in the storm, because there's going to be a storm. Like, the other team is not going to just lay down. When that storm comes, how are you going to be at your best? Or what did you do in your preparation that will allow you to be at your best? Because not very often are you going to blow people out. They're going to find a way to make a comeback of some sort. And then what are you going to do to retake the game back? Because it's ebbs and flows in the game. And if you're down, if you allow yourself to stay down and think, oh, here they come, you're not allowing yourself to think, when that time comes, I'm ready, I'm going to make the play to turn this game. Like, stand on it. Like, believe in it. Like, if you put in the preparation during the week, you should be prepared for when this moment comes. And that's what I would say. You can't be afraid of the moment. Matter of fact, give me the moment. It's my moment. You know, like, if you're a competitor, you want that kind of feeling.
Is that the difference between great and average, is wanting that moment?
Yes, because the people that don't want to be great, they run from that moment. Look at the people in the NBA when there's 4 seconds on the clock, don't take the shot, throw the pass. They don't want that moment. They're running from that moment. Look at the NFL players or the quarterbacks sitting in there. When it's their time, they use their legs. They run. They throw the ball. They look for certain people who they know going to meet the moment. Like, some quarterbacks get into a situation where they're afraid of the moment. And they throw the Hail Mary, and they already preparing in their mind, oh, it didn't work because. The guys that you want to be in the huddle with is saying, hey, man, we about to make this damn thing happen. Ride with me. Let's go. Or the quarterback that's saying, look in the stands. What comedian is that? What actor is that? Because he's taking the pressure off because he's ready to meet the moment. Remember that Joe Montana? Joe Montana did that in the Super Bowl. Hey, ain't that John Candy or whoever it was looking in the stands? Hey, he taking the pressure off his guys, like, hey, relax, boys. Let's just get ready to do what we do. You know, and that's what you're looking for. That's leadership.
So whether it's on the field or in life, there are those who you say, you know, are kind of running from that moment. What do you think is behind that, running for that moment? I mean, obviously you qualified to be there, but you get now this major opportunity, but you run from the moment. What does it mean? Like, you got to address that.
Is many things. Like, everybody got internal struggles. But, like, sometimes people put athletes on a pedestal that this guy wants it. And this guy's shaking in his boots like everybody's built him up to think, oh, you the man, you the man. But in his mind, he knows I'm not the guy. I'm not who they say I am. And when that moment comes, he's afraid of it. As opposed to the guy that is the first in the building during the week, last to leave, then did all the extra work, then put in all the extra time, then did all the checking his boxes, as opposed to the guy that's the superstar that's like, I don't need to do this. You know, you got to put in the time. Like, it's going to show up at some point.
Yeah. You know, again, I hope that people are hearing this and saying, the lessons that you learn from the game are so applicable to how you lead, whether it's in the boardroom, the classroom, or in whatever sector that you're in. When when you talked earlier, you said something about preparation, and we throw that around a lot. But how critical is preparation to success? Because some people just want to show up and they think, if I look good, everything will be fine as long as I create the right atmosphere.
Don't work that way. I think it's a saying in football, and probably in all major sports, is enjoy the process, and eventually you'll get to the end. But you can't get to the end without having a process. Whatever that process is, whether it's in sports or whether it's in your daily routine or in your life, enjoy the process, because you're going to get to the end one way or the other. But the process and the journey is really what life is about. It ain't about the end. We know we're going to be born. We know we're going to die. But what are you going to do in between? What's that process? What are people going to say about you? When people stand over you at your funeral, they're not going to say, for the most part, how great a player you were. They're either going to say you were a good dad, a bad dad, a good person, a bad person, a good family man, a bad family man. They're going to talk about what you did in between. The process is important. So that's what I think you need to work on. Enjoying that process, enjoying being a good person, enjoying being a good athlete, enjoying being good at whatever job title you have, whether you're a leader or not a leader. Enjoy that process.
So talk a little bit about process, and I'm going to kind of combine to what I heard say earlier, process preparation. From the beginning of the season to the end, you start off in training camp, you end up in the Super Bowl. But you have to have a vision. What is important about having a vision in life? We don't just happen to, coincidentally, we ended up in the Super Bowl.
Well, to me, the biggest factor for teams that have success are the teams that come together. And so that joining occurs during training camp in July. And like, do you like each other in your group? Like, some people don't care about that. Some people say that's not important, but it's very important. Because every team that I've been on that's been successful, we've been tight. I know your mother. You know my mother. You go to East St. Louis, you could stay at my mother's house. You ain't got to call me. You call my mom or my brothers. That's how tight we were. On the good teams. On the bad teams, I didn't know your mother's name. I never met your mother. I don't even know your wife, to be honest with you. Like, you can't build camaraderie, and you can't build tolerance, or you can't build a willingness to die for somebody if you don't know them. And I think that's where it starts. Like, I've been on teams that didn't win the Super Bowl in Miami that I would die for some of my teammates. I would literally die for them. I have a daughter who went to Howard University, and she had a boyfriend up there, and this boy was jumping out the bushes on her. So I had a friend who I played with in Miami who had become a Secret Service agent. I called up there, hadn't talked to him in 15 years. Say, bro, my daughter goes to Howard, this boy jumping out the bushes. I need you to go investigate. I can't get up there right now. I need you to check on it. I got you, brother. Call me back the next day. I ain't heard from that boy again. I don't know what he did or what he said, but that's the kind of love you have to have. I ain't talked to you in 15 years. I ain't seen you, but I pick up the phone, you return the phone call, and you go and do something for me. Like, that's the love you got to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the commitment you got to have to one another. And like, that builds the strongest organizations.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, how can I work hard for you if I don't know you?
Mm.
How can I make sacrifices from you or for you if I don't love you? Like, you got to be able to, like, the most successful organizations in sport are the most connected.
Mm.
You got to be connected. You got to be able to step outside the building and spend time with each other. If I don't get to know you, how can I make a sacrifice for you?
Mm.
If it's 3rd down and 10 and the game's on the line, how can I go and sacrifice my body knowing I'm going to get clobbered if I don't have that love for you? So I think it begins with that love, that experience during training camp. We bonding, we all in it. We got one common thing. We might hate the coach because he got curfew at 11 o'clock and he ain't letting us go out and have a couple beers before we got to be in for curfew or whatever that is. We got to start to merge and have the same kind of thought process.
Mm.
And that's in any business. The best businesses you have, the people are the closest. They want to hang out after work. They want to see each other after work because they've grown to care and love for each other.
Yeah. So that makes me want to ask this question. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it just like I'm feeling it. What teammate did you not want to play with? I mean, it's kind of like I can't stand that type of teammate. You know,
I had many of them.
Now, don't name. But I mean, what kind? What is it like? You know, but that character is. You can't play with me. You cannot go on the field with me, man.
Here's the thing, Pass, is you always have selfish people.
Mm.
It's always about them, and this is crazy that I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say this. On the team that won the Super Bowl in New England in 2001, the only Super Bowl that I won, many of our players didn't like each other, couldn't stand each other. They would fight each other. They would talk about who got the best car. They would talk about how many women they had. Like, didn't like each other. And we won the Super Bowl. There are teams that I've been on that we've been so close, so tight, that anybody that wasn't willing to join, they were on the outskirts. If we were sacrificing and doing all these things that we thought that it took to win, and you were on the outskirts standing by yourself, we try to run you out of town. We don't want you on our team. And we go tell the coach, hey man, this guy ain't with us. He's not built from the same cloth. He's not making the same sacrifices. We here in the morning, we staying late watching film, and this guy, as soon as practice over, he taking a shower, he running out the building. He's not one of us. So it happens. And it's okay that it happens. It's okay that, this one guy, you don't want to be a part, we're fine with it.
Mm.
It doesn't cost us anything, but it's going to cost you. Because the camaraderie that you're missing, the friendship, how can I believe in you on Sunday in fourth quarter, on 4th down and 1, how can I believe that you're going to do your job if I can't believe that you're with us? I don't think you're with us. And I think another part, we've talked about the leadership, but we haven't really gotten into the leadership. I've been captain on every team I've ever been on. In the pros, in college, and in high school my senior year, even though I wasn't a full-time starter. When you're a captain, you got to make some calls. Sometimes it's going to be against the players.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's going to be against the organization. But it ain't a popular place, but you got to be willing to stand on it. You got to be willing to stand in the middle and say, this is what it is. And I got a story that I'll tell you about the leadership that's unpopular someplace. So again, I'm with the Jets, and this is Parcells. He's taken our starting nose tackle and said, we're not playing him. We're not even dressing this guy this week. And he's going to play a rookie. So I'm the captain. I go into the locker room. Mo Lewis, Marvin Jones, bunch of guys say, man, he's not taking this guy to play. We want this guy. We don't want this rookie that he's going to play. And they tell me that I got to go tell Parcells that they don't want this guy. They want this guy. So I go, Bill, hey, man, we want this guy to play. We don't want this guy. Bill says to me, they put you up to this? I said, what you mean they put me up to this? He looking over my shoulder so I know he can see them. They standing outside and they mulling around. They really ain't changing clothes. They trying to see what I say or what I do. I say, yeah, they put me up to it. He said, okay, well, I'm going to do it, but he better play good or all your ass is in trouble. Okay, so we go out there, we win the game, guy plays good. And this, but that was one where the people in the locker room forced me to go talk to management, and you tell management, we don't want that guy, we want this guy. On the other end, I've had the coach come and say, this guy is overweight, this guy didn't make weight, this guy, he's been out hanging out because he smelled like alcohol this morning when he came in, you got to go get him. I've had situations as captain where I had to deal with teammates who were fighting over the same woman. Both of y'all married. What are we doing here? You married and you married. You take a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, y'all split her. So you had to have situations like that. You had to have situations where teammates going through a divorce, a wife, I'm leaving, this, that, the other. Hey, man, it's costing you. You're not doing your job. Like whatever it is you got going over there, when you come in this door, we need you to be 100. We need you to be ready to take care of the business. So leadership is an integral part of a lot of what we've had conversation about today.
What is the mindset that you have to make those difficult calls? You know, everybody wants to lead, but not everybody wants to make those hard calls, those hard decisions, to do that thing. Like, I got to say this to somebody, you ain't going to like it, but I got to say it because there's something down the line here, you know? And some people don't want to be disliked. You know, if I say this might, you know, you're not going to like me, everything, a people pleasing kind of thing. What's the mindset you got to have?
It's going to be what it's going to be. Like at the end of the day, if you don't do your job, I can't be successful. So it affects me. And I need to be able to say that. And one of the things that I've left out is in that time where we're bonding and we caring for each other and we figuring out that we love each other, now I can say some stuff to you that you don't take offense to that you otherwise might have, because it's coming from a place of love and not coming from a place of disrespect. So I can tell you, hey, man, you need to hold up your end of the bargain. And you can shoot back. I got mine, you do yours. I'm on it, let's go. You know, you got to, if I care for you and you know I care for you, that conversation is not, it doesn't sting as much because it's from a place of love. It ain't from a place of disappointment. It ain't from a place of disrespect. It ain't from a place of mistreatment. It's from a place of, I care about you. I need you to do your job for me to be successful. So when you don't do it, I'm gonna let you know. And you get to a place where people start to appreciate that and not look at it as you challenge me. Like look at some of the situations where you've had conversations or disagreements, almost fights on the sideline with some of these teams. When you get teams that are close, you can have them conversations and them guys want to fight, and then they come to realize, you're right, I ain't do my job. Like, that's when you know you got it right. When you got guys that can't say it to each other or won't say it to each other, then you kidding each other, you'll never be successful.
Man, this is so rich. You know, you've talked so much now about teams and working together. And again, this is applicable whether you're on the court, the gridiron, or whether you're in a boardroom, whether you're a faith community, you've got a team that is working together. What's that one thing you're going to say to that team that feels stuck right now? They feel like, man, I know we got some sauce. We could do it, but it's not working. If y'all want to get unstuck, they bring in Bryan Cox. What's that one thing you're going to say? Here's what y'all need to do to get unstuck.
2 suggestions. The first of which is get out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the second of which is going to be to leadership. Are you asking something of one of these people that they're not capable of doing? Because one of the things about leadership and success is I should only ask you to do what you're good at. If you're not good at it, I'm setting you up to fail if I ask you to do it. Don't put those people in that position. Like, one of the things that I love about Don Shula taught me a lot about manhood because he was always honest, told you what, not only that you needed to hear, but told you the truth, and then ended the conversation with, I love you. What Belichick and Parcells did was they would only ask you to do what you were good at. Like we talked about earlier, against the Rams, I couldn't cover anybody. I couldn't run with anybody, so why play me? Bryan, you're not playing. But they told me on Monday, let me get upset, mad, be about all those things. So by the time the game come, I was team player, all in, doing the thing. They only ask you to do what you're good at. 1 or 2 things. I'm not going to ask you to do everything because everybody's not good at everything. And if you ask me to do something that I can't do, that's bad leadership. Because you put me in a position that I failed and didn't look good. That's not on me, that's on you. Here's what you do. I'm going to only ask you to do these 2 or 3 things. That's what good leadership, effective leadership is. And then I keep going back to the point, you got to do stuff outside the building. If you're in a team environment or a work environment, you got to make people feel, and you got to get to know them so that when you say something, they know that you love them. They know that you care about them. I'm not just saying this for this, but I'm saying it because I know who you are as a person. I see you. You know, the leadership, football and business, it interacts so much that they apply. Those same examples apply to both instances.
B, this is so rich, man. Bro, this is so rich. Listen, if I've never said this before, I've seen you on the field before I got to know you. I knew you, and I knew you as one of the best on the field. Now I get to know you off the field, and man, you're even better.
Appreciate
off the field, man. Bryan said to you, I love you, bro.
I love you too, brother.
Man,
Appreciate
grateful for your friendship. Man, Bryan Cox, you know. Well, I'm going to let you sit in that a little bit, run that thing back. This is something you got to go back and listen to. Again, grateful for you.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Thanks so much for being a part of our conversation today. As always, you got to share this one. Like and subscribe, yeah, but share this one so others can hear this as well and be encouraged. Send it to a team, a leader, somebody you know needs to hear this perspective. So, until next time, keep standing.